Good evening and welcome to our latest installment of the Seneca Scout. I'm Gavin Kress.
And I'm Alex Palmieri. Since our first official snow of the season earlier this week, we have been slowly inching our way closer to the holiday season.
It is not time to bring out the jingle bells just yet. Alex, besides the snow, we have some great local, national, and international stories this week, including our own Ermin Crest being recognized by Time Magazine, a new intermediate high school proposal, as well as talks between the CIA and Russia. Our population surpassing 8 billion people as well, Alex.
Very impressive. To start our show tonight, Seneca Valley's own Ermin Crest Elementary and Middle School has been recognized by Time Magazine as one of the top 200 inventions of the year. Time cites that the school's artful design, mixed with educational tools built right into the walls, creates an environment that goes to show how physical spaces can impact educational outcomes. Designed in conjunction with Canon Design and the Children's Museum of Pittsburgh, Ermin Crest Elementary Middle School was designed from the ground up to model just how the space around us can influence the ways that we learn. With specialized walls that teach about sound, fractions, energy, local ecology, and so much more, the importance of teaching is built right into the very foundation. Plus, with modernized safety features, such as an art wing that doubles as a storm shelter, Ermin Crest is rightfully labeled by Time as, quote, the future of educational institutions.
And now, as we take another look at another Seneca Valley school's steps towards modernized learning, with next year's course scheduling for SV High School, students coming soon, teachers and administrators have been working to reconfigure and improve their course offerings. Staff have been refining their series of pathways in an effort to have students more engaged in 21st century skills, which include collaboration, digital literacy, creativity, among many others. The pathways more closely resemble college majors and courses of study, can direct students to classes that might interest them more or be more impactful on their potential future careers. Examples of these pathways include art, communication, and media, public safety and education, health and medical human services. To discuss about these changes is Mr. Robert Check, high school principal of the senior high school.
So the work that we are doing right now is we have identified 5 major career clusters, which is where students are going. And these are nationally recognized clusters. We didn't just make these up. This is where the majority of people, when they leave Seneca Valley or any high school, they are going into positions and jobs within these clusters. So what we are trying to do is how do we align our coursework and the courses kids can take with the clusters that they are interested in so that they are sitting in classes that they find to be more relevant to where they want to go in life. Now, kids don't always know where they want to go in life at that early age. That's why we've made clusters an opportunity to maybe explore one cluster and then change the next year to a different cluster because kids' interests change and their experiences change.
With these course realignments, Mr. Check explains that the next step clearly distribute these courses into the career clusters in Seneca Valley's program of studies. Mr. Check went on to discuss the rollout of this new program in the program of studies to the student body.
But we've had to have a program of studies that's aligned to our career pathways, and that's what we've been working on now. And the next steps then are going to be to talk to the kids about what pathway do they identify in or is of greatest interest to them, and then how to use our program of studies and our registration tool in order to pick their classes for next year. And that's a little bit of a difference, is we're trying to give kids more options to pick classes instead of mandating, as a junior you take this, as a senior you take this, or whatever, and saying, well, here's choices that you can take that are aligned. So the kid in arts and humanity might have a different English class than a kid that's going into political science, law, and human services.
Scheduling for next year's classes will begin in mid-January for Seneca Valley students. And now, we turn to a different principal. Recently, the intermediate high school here at Seneca Valley went through a few different staff changes, including a new dean of students and a new principal. The new principal, Mr. Henderson, officially started on November 1st and has hit the ground running. We here at Seneca Scout would like to welcome Mr. Henderson to the school district and have invited him here to learn a little more about him.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Mr. Henderson. It's an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Now, to get us going, where have you worked in the past, and based on your experiences so far, how is Seneca Valley different?
Previous to coming to Seneca Valley, my entire career was spent in the Washington School District. I'm actually a graduate of Wash-I, and I spent time as a social studies teacher, dean of students, and I was also a junior high before becoming the high school principal. In terms of differences, the biggest one is the size. The intermediate high school at about 1,200 students is near the size of the entire district at Washington, so that's been a big difference. And so just kind of getting a grasp on that has been a big change.
And what are you looking forward to as new principal?
I'm looking forward to really getting to know the student body, work with the staff, getting to understand the Seneca Valley School District community as a whole, and really what everybody here is about. And what really brought me to Seneca was the push to challenge students but provide them opportunities.
That's great. And do you have any goals or plans for the IHS in particular?
Well, as previously mentioned with the pathways, I think that is something that's very important in today's society, and I think everything that we can do as a school system to provide our students with more insight and more opportunity and more guidance and direction with what we offer educationally will only best serve them in the future. So really digging into the pathways and working with our staff and the other admin in the district is something I'm looking forward to doing.
That's great. And are there any other challenges that you think you might face along the way?
The big one for me right now is names, learning everybody's name. It's a lot of names, but I'm working towards that. So again, as I get to know the staff and I get to know students, that right now for me is the biggest challenge, because I like to address people on a personal level, but really just getting to know the students and the staff and making myself known about what I stand for and just working together.
That's great. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I'm just happy to be here. It was a big school, and so I got lost actually on my way here, so that's okay. But I found my way, and I appreciate you all having me.
Of course, and we appreciate you coming in to do this interview for us today.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Well, back to you over at the desk, Gavin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Henderson, for that interview. In other school news, the Seneca Valley Art Program has recently brought a new life into a neglected part of the senior high school. Senior high school art teacher Jason Woolslayer, as well as a Pittsburgh-based artist Ashley Hutter, have been working to prime and paint the walls below the student parking lot. The mural consists of a portrait that Hutter had created with spray paint. Ashley works mainly in mural-based spray painting work, and her work can be found in various places in the Pittsburgh area. Though progress has recently been stunted by the drop in temperatures, plans are still being made to work on this mural and will continue in the spring. Students will also have the opportunity to add their own art to these walls. The goal of the project is to have a variety of murals outside from both students and local artists. Mr. Woolslayer hopes this space will grow in collaboration so they can make something unique that all students can enjoy.
Now we zoom out our lens with a global story. Recently, the chief of the CIA met with his Russian counterpart. The discussion focused on the potential of nuclear war. In light of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, Russia being pushed back by the smaller, less trained Ukrainian forces, the question of a desperate Russian nuclear defense is being put on the table. CIA Chief Bill Burns met with Sergei Naryshkin, the Russian spy chief. Burns warned Naryshkin against the use of nuclear weapons. Burns also met with Ukrainian President Zelensky in Kyiv, discussing a similar range of topics. While Russian missiles rained down upon the city, 2 Ukrainian missiles also hit a farm near the border in rural Poland, killing 2. Poland invoked NATO Article 4, which states that NATO nations will, quote, consult together whenever, in the opinion of any of them, the territorial integrity, political independence, or security of another member. What is threatened? NATO had an emergency meeting regarding the accident on Wednesday. Because initial thoughts were that it was 2 Russian rockets that struck the Polish farm. However, further investigation revealed that it was 2 Ukrainian missile defense rockets that hit the farm.
In other global news, the United Nations has recently stated that the world population has surpassed 8 billion people. It's hard to imagine a number so large. Though this milestone has been finally reached, the last milestone, 7 billion people, was hit back in October of 2011. The UN predicted this milestone would be reached on Wednesday. This came alongside several other predictions surpassing India, surpassing China in population next year. It was also predicted that the population will hit 9 billion milestone by 2040. To continue the theme of population here are some stats for you. Between 2015 and 2020, the world's growth rate was 1.1%. The UN projects that between 9 and 10 billion people by 2050, and 10 to 12 billion by the end of the 21st century. By then, the growth rate would be zero. Other demographers predict that the human population will begin to decline in the first half of the 21st century.
We end tonight with the passing of a superhero legend. Last Thursday, November 10th, actor Kevin Conroy, who voiced the DC Comics character Batman for 30 years, passed away after a private battle with cancer. Conroy began his career as a television and theater actor before first appearing as the voice of Batman opposite Mark Hamill as the voice of the Joker in Batman the Animated Series in 1992. Conroy continued to play the character in a multitude of spin-offs, separate projects, movies, and video games well into the 2000s, including Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Beyond, the Batman Arkham video game trilogy, and most recently 2022's Multiversus. Following news of his death, many friends and colleagues shared their condolences online, including Hamill, who posted on Twitter, quote, "I'm finding great solace in all the memories I have of him. The thrill of our earliest recording sessions, discovering the unique bond our characters shared, how we complemented one another, and bonded immediately." Conroy was 66 at the time of his passing and is survived by his husband, Vaughn C. Williams, sister Tricia Conroy, and brother Tom Conroy.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight, or this week. We thank those who tuned in and made sure to come back every Friday at 7 for local, national, and international stories from the voices of Seneca Valley students.
We hope that you all have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll be back in 2 weeks ready to kickstart the holiday season.
Hopefully with some more snow. That's all we have for you to have a nice night.
What's wrong? You've been asking, but I don't